Morning peeps, I'm back again. Now we've got two things to look at today. Plans for the next couple of weeks, which are very, very tricky. I mean, probably not for everybody, but if you own Haaland, and it's tricky, very tricky the next couple of weeks. Extremely, because we've had like a period where you've just been waiting for these two fixtures really with Southampton and Wolves, and now we've had them. It's awkward. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about the latest scandal that's just developing now, And it's nothing to do with you lot this time, Makes a change, doesn't it? But none of you lot or the cartel have got anything to do with this current scandal. So we're going to have a look at that. I'll try and be as quick as I can. You don't want to be hanging about all day, do you? But I'm trying to work out what I'm doing for my own self, because... I've got a problem because Matoma, who's got two tough fixtures coming up, didn't look great the other day. He really didn't against whoever it was they played. Who was it, peeps? Wolves. He didn't look great at all. His final ball was wanting, and they got two tough fixtures, and he's dropping in price tonight. As for that prick out Nori, I brought him in and benched him for Torres and Robinson. Torres lost his clean sheet in the 96th minute, and at about the same time Aaron Norrie was scoring his blooming goal, so it looked like I'd done really well. Norrie was on the bench with 0 and Pau Torres was on 6, and within a space of 2 minutes it switched around, so of course my bench player was the one that had all the points, prime FPL. Then when I was out playing golf, I happened to look at my phone just as that prick Robinson was losing his clean sheet when Everton scored in injury time. So I lost 2 clean sheets in injury time. Palmer should have had untold amounts of goals today, but the video ref overturned it. Clear and obvious error according to video ref, even though it wasn't really... I mean, it shouldn't have been a penalty, but it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And he also had a goal chalked off because he was like a millimetre offside or something, so he could have had a huge haul. And as for that, those Tottenham pricks, well, the least said about them, the better. And also that applies to Calvert-Lewin and the biggest prick of all, Flecken. As for Haaland, well, anyway, so I've got a decision to make. It basically boils down to 3 choices: do nothing and play Mitoma at Liverpool, or Rodgers at Tottenham, or Howard Bellis at wherever he's at, home to Everton. So or take out Mitoma. The problem is there are no decent replacements for Mitoma this week. I've had a look. The midfielders are a shambles this week. They honestly are. It's very difficult to make a one-off transfer to bring in a midfielder this week. You wouldn't want Foden. You wouldn't want a Liverpool midfielder that isn't Salah. You've already got Mbeumo probably. Maddison, he's been taken off early. I've already got 2 Tottenham. Bowen, I don't really trust them. Gordon, he's not even playing. He's injured. Rashford, you wouldn't talk about him. Eze, I don't want him. Don't trust him. Johnson, already got him. You go down the list, wherever you go, and there's nobody worth getting, basically, in the Matoma price bracket this week. So, there's only one player, peeps, and it's this prick here. And it pains me, because I spent all morning rubbishing Man United on Twitter, saying they're the lowest scoring team in the division, even XG's rubbish, they're rubbish, hopeless. But he's the only decent transfer this week. And you can say, okay, he's got Chelsea, so it's not ideal to bring him in this week. But then you look at the next 2, and he's home against Leicester, and in the one following that, he's away at Ipswich. I mean, they're prime fixtures. And you've got to think by then, the manager's going to be gone. I don't know if they'll bring Solskjaer back for as a caretaker or something, or get somebody in, but you've got to think whoever they bring in is going to be good for the fantasy assets. I mean, it can't be any worse, can it? So I could do that. But the thing is, again, really, ideally, I should be waiting and waiting to see events unfold, to see if a manager is sacked before I bring in Fernandes. So, he's less than ideal, but in terms of the next 3 fixtures, he is probably, you wouldn't put it past him to do something against Chelsea, would you? So he probably is the best midfield option I could bring in this week. But like I said, I don't really want to. So the only other option is to fast forward my team, which involves taking a hit and taking out Haaland and getting Salah from Matoma. Now, on a normal week, I wouldn't hesitate. I don't think Haaland's worth the money. I wouldn't hesitate. But the problem again here is, if you take out Haaland, all the main suspects have got bad fixtures. Watkins have got 2 bad fixtures coming up. Newcastle got bad fixtures. So Isaac's not really ideal. Havertz has got bad fixtures. Not ideal again. Jackson's got 2 bad fixtures. It's blooming annoying. Solanke I've already got, but if you didn't have him, would you get him? Hopeless. So I'm struggling, peeps. I'm struggling. Don't know what to do. Honestly, there's only one player I think I'd take out Haaland for, and that is Cunha. And you're risking another Calvert-Lewin situation. Take out Cunha, get rid of that prick Mitoma, and bring in Mr. Salad. So if I'm going to captain him, that's the other option. Prevents me having a price fall. It gets me onto Salah before his price goes up. It probably gets me price rises on Cunha. And if you look at Cunha's fixtures, absolutely blinding. Look at this. No one's got better fixtures. This is 8 games in a row. 8 games. I mean, the only arguably tough one is away at Fulham. And that's the hardest game they've got in the last 8 weeks. In the next 8 weeks. Blinding fixtures. And I don't think he's a Calvert-Lewin. He has been doing well with tough fixtures. And we've seen with Wood, Vardy and Delap that these cheaper players can get quite a few points. This is why Calvert-Lewin's price is getting absolutely splattered. But I don't have to take him out this week. I've got 0.1 built up in him. And he's got Southampton this week. So it's not the ideal time to get rid of Calvert-Lewin. But doing this Cunha and Salah leaves me with... Jesus Christ. Is that really? Leaves me with 7... That can't be right. I can't have 17 million in the bank. No. Have I? Really? I don't think so. No, 5 million. I've had too many drugs, peeps. I tell you, nothing seems quite as it should. You know what I mean? So I knew I didn't have 70, but even 5 million is ridiculous, isn't it? It costs -4. And, I mean, is Salah at home to Brighton a better captain than Haaland away at Bournemouth? Well, I'll tell you what, peeps. Bournemouth this season in their home games beat Arsenal 2-0, lost 1-0 against Chelsea. They beat Southampton 3-1, so they did concede against Southampton. But they haven't conceded, and they probably got another game, but they haven't conceded more than 1 goal at home all season. They're looking very good. Man City aren't looking very good, let's be honest. They're struggling. I mean, they only beat Southampton 1-0. People are saying you can't get rid of Haaland because he should have got 3 goals against Southampton. Well, the fact is he didn't get 3 goals, and it was Southampton. And away at Bournemouth is completely different playing home to Southampton. So I've got no qualms about getting rid of Haaland. I'm not scared. FPL doesn't frighten me, peeps. I think it's right, I'll do it. So, is this better? Captain Mr. Salad. Promote out Nori for him. So I've got a reasonable team this weekend. 4 points spent. Could backfire massively. This could be the week where Haaland owners actually get a green arrow and the ones that don't have them get a red arrow, just as I'm switching back. But we've got to be brave. Is Salah the best option now, really? Let's see. Liverpool, home to Brighton, home to Villa, away to Southampton. Well, that's not bad, is it? But I put it to you, peeps, that if Salah's minutes are going to be managed, it's going to be in that Southampton match. They've got Europe, they've got Man City the following week, and they've got Villa before that. So the manager, you're probably going to get 70, I reckon, out of Salah that week. And then they're away at Newcastle. So we're not, it's not, I wouldn't say Salah was essential. But certainly Haaland isn't either. Away at Bournemouth, away at Brighton, home to Tottenham, and then away at Liverpool. That's not essential. And that's 15.4 million. And he's going to start dropping in price. So I take him out. I'm avoiding his price fall. I'm avoiding Mitoma's price fall. I'm getting Salah before his price rise and getting Kuna before probably multiple price rises. So that's what I'm doing, peeps. I'm tossing up whether to go for Mitoma to Fernandes or this -4. Neither, to be honest, neither look ideal. But I'm in a tricky spot and it's not easy this week. This is why I use this FPL team. It's actually very good for forward planning. Because you can see we go up to game week 11 and suddenly I've got Solanke home to Ipswich and Johnson away to home to Ipswich. And this is why you don't want to get rid of Solanke, I think. Cunha at home to Southampton. So he's obviously, this is what I mean. You get Cunha in, you've got multiple good weeks. Who do we captain this week? Tricky. It's very tricky, isn't it? Who do you captain? Do you captain Solanke? Johnson? Cunha? I don't know. Do you? I mean, that's pretty brave, isn't it, to captain Cunha? Let's be honest. Salah at home to Villa is not fantastic, is it? Who would Haaland have been playing? Who will they all be captaining? Away to Brighton. I mean, even that's not ideal. You want to really be captaining someone at home. You don't want to captain Palmer. By far the best captain in that week will likely, if he's fit, will be Son. It will be Son. But I wouldn't want to take out Palmer to bring Son in. I wouldn't want Tottenham because the following week they're playing Man City. So if I want Son, I'd have to take out Johnson. I'd have the money and replace him with Son, which is kind of a weird kind of a move, that, isn't it? It is a weird move. And I think a lot of people, all the people that have gone Saka to Son and then to Foden or Palmer, or especially Palmer, it's now very difficult for them to actually get Son back. And I can see why they all bought him 2 weeks ago for this nice run. But now he's not so easy to bring in. So who would you trust, Solanke? I tell you what, I might just go for Solanke. I know he's been awful that week, but and then this is the other good thing, peeps, of getting Cunha and having 5 million in the bank, because Chelsea's fixtures improve in game week 12. So what we do, we move on to game week 12. And then you take out Calvert-Lewin, even though he's home to Brentford, who we know Flecken to concede 10 goals, but by then we don't care at that stage. We totally had enough of what's his face. So when we get Jackson in, still got 3 million in the bank. See that? Once you take Haaland out, you've basically got and then you see that Johnson or away at Man City, you know, and they've let you down, and Tottenham have been shit. So you can take out Johnson, 9.6, and bring in Fernandes, away at Ipswich, who've got a new manager by then, and they're looking great. You know, they're winning every game. Solskjaer's back. They're attacking, fluid. They're playing like Maresca's Chelsea, and suddenly everything at Man United is rosy. Anyway, peeps, you know, that's the kind of thing I'm looking at anyway. So now we're going to get on to this scandal. And it's not much of a scandal, but it is a scandal because we're all sick of VAR, sick of them not awarding Palmer penalties when he deserves them, and taking away his goals while giving opposition goals. And today, the VAR man at the Arsenal game was snapped in his little booth, and he's got FPL open on his mobile. You know, he's an avid FPL player, obviously. If he's got it open on his mobile, that pretty much shows that he's addicted to FPL, just like the rest of us are. And we know from the cartel and the FPL review shyster bunch that when you can cheat or get an unfair advantage against other people, you're going to do it, aren't you? You're going to get your leaks. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to withhold information, and you're going to do whatever you can to climb that greasy little ladder on that journey to a stress ball. So, and our VAR people just as prone to do that as you are. You know, if they're looking at a millimetre offside on Palmer and they've got him in their team, are they more likely, subconsciously, to give him a goal than not a goal if they've got him in their FPL team? You know, well, I'll tell you what, peeps, the people on Reddit think that they are. Let's have a look at some comments on Reddit, because we know what Reddit's like. It's a shit show, but it is quite amusing. Now, we're talking about tinfoil hats. This is just another conspiracy. But is it? Is it a conspiracy? You know, I mean, is it really? I mean, this is a good comment here from this character. No tinfoil hat needed. This is a man in charge of Premier League game decisions who is obsessed with FPL just like we are. It's not a conspiracy, it's fraud. Well, it's not really fraud, is it? But the temptation's there for him to be lenient. You know, it's like if a referee supports a team, subconsciously he's more likely to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, it's like I think studies have been done between home and away games, and referees are more lenient to home players because of the home crowd and that. You know, they don't do it consciously, but subconsciously it could make a difference. You know, should they be allowed to be playing FPL in the first place when they're making these decisions? I'm damn sure it has an effect on FPL towers who make decisions based on who they have in their FPL teams and are darn that hill. Well, we don't know if they do, but you know, you sometimes see strange price changes and that, and you wonder about that type of thing, or assists being awarded, not awarded, and all that type of thing. So you can't help but wonder, and the way to stop people wondering is to make it so that there's nothing to wonder about. But this is bad, peeps. You know, we're in charge of a real game, and they're got the screen open. I mean, should it even be open anyway? You know, forget about the fact that they might be awarding people. What's this? You do not realise it's not even an FPL screen. Well, I don't know about that, peeps. Is it an FPL screen? Everyone else seems to think it's an FPL screen. But should they be allowed to play FPL when they're having it open? You know, like I said, it shouldn't be open anyway. He should be concentrating on the bloody game, shouldn't he? He shouldn't even have his phone on. He's obviously been looking at it, otherwise the screen would have gone dark, wouldn't it? Unless he's got it set so that it's on the entire time, in which case he really is addicted. So it's ridiculous. It really is, isn't it? It's a scandal every bloody week. And you also don't know, of course, whether that photo is actually genuine, but it looks genuine. But with AI like it is at the moment, you can fake photos pretty easily. But this is another scandal brewing. We'll see if it goes anywhere. But it probably won't. But I myself, I don't feel entirely comfortable knowing that the blooming video ref has got his phone open looking at FPL when someone like Palmer gets a penalty decision or not. Do you want someone who's playing FPL making that decision? I don't think you do, because I wouldn't trust them. I wouldn't trust anybody. You can see what I'm like with the leaks and stuff. So it just puts that element of doubt in there, and the last thing you want with VAR is any doubt, isn't it? So this is, where are we now? Look, game week 12. So this is why 3 Tottenham gets tricky, doesn't it? It starts getting tricky because you've got this Ipswich fixture, then you bang into an away fixture at Man City. And Johnson's not, since I bought him, of course, he hasn't done a bloody thing. He's gone 2 weeks in a row, he's blanked. Should have known better than to bring in a player who'd scored in the previous 8 weeks. So that tends to be what happens. Chasing points, peeps, chasing points. Right, anyway, I'm off now. I've had enough. I've got a sore throat. I've been talking away. And am I any nearer into making my decision? Am I going to let Matoma fall in price and spend all week dilly-dallying about, oohing and ahhing, should I, shouldn't I? Bollocks. Who wants to spend 5 days, doing that, watching your prices fall, and then still being no nearer to making a decision? So I've got to be decisive. I've got to do one or the other. I've either got to get Fernandes in and make myself a laughing stock after rubbishing him for the last 8 weeks. But then when you look at his fixtures, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? This is why they're clinging on to him like a limpet. They're through thick and thin, they're clinging on to him. But knowing if I get him in, the prick will only go and get 5 yellow cards and miss one of his great games. I don't know how many yellows he's on at the moment. But you look at this, they've got Leicester at home, Ipswich away, Everton at home. Well, that's a nice little run. I wish it was this week. It would be easy, wouldn't it? But they've got Chelsea first. But like I said, there are no blooming midfielders to bring in. I don't think Wolves have got any midfielders I could bring in, really. I've already got my Tottenham ones. I don't want Man City ones. Don't really want Liverpool ones, apart from Salah. Nobody. Smith Rowe, I suppose. Ticking along, isn't he? But he's not really, I could just... can't be bothered with that. It's too... And they've got some tough fixtures coming up soonish. Palace. There's Eze, isn't there, really? It's either Eze or Fernandes, the two favourites of the review. Brentford, but I've already got mine. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing. You wouldn't want an Arsenal. So basically, peeps, that's it. It's tricky and not very pleasant, basically. They're all horrible choices. Doing nothing's a horrible choice because I lose money on people. Taking out Haaland involves a hit and, up in the air. And bringing in Fernandes is just making me feel a bit grubby. But we shall see, peeps, we shall see. Anyway, I'm off now because I've had enough. And I'll talk to you all later anyway. So cheers now then, peeps. And like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you all later.